Welcome to our message from our Divine Compassionate Guides. My intention when I pull these messages is they will help heal and serve you in the most appropriate way. My name is Julianne Duffy, and my purpose is to live, speak, and seek the truth in all forms to assist humanity in connecting to its highest form of authenticity. Today, I did a full 4-card pull on the question of what is our intuition telling us? So, we might be getting a lot of hits and a lot of things that we probably kind of get a sense of, but if we want to confirm, what is our intuition really attempting to tell us, humanity, at this moment? So let's dive into it. We're going to find out what we see, what we are seeing, what we're not seeing, the possible outcome of what our intuition's telling us, and then the actions we are being advised to go and take. So let's start here with what we are seeing and, right off the bat, what is it that our intuition is telling us as humanity? Perfect. This seems quite appropriate. We are being guided straight up to work through our fears. New moon in Scorpio. So I feel like that's probably pretty appropriate. I don't know about everybody else watching this, but I have had some interesting dreams, and a lot of that has come up has been a little bit of the anxiety and some of the fear that I obviously have unconscious. I actually had quite an interesting dream the other night about multiple tornadoes, which when I was doing a little bit of research in what that meaning is, it's a lot of anxieties, so obviously in my unconscious state, I feel all this craziness behind us. And it was interesting because in the end, even though there was multiple tornadoes, there was all this chaos going on. That's the background, the stresses. The end result of the dream was it was sunny in the end and we were fine and everything was good. So it was like really that representation that we're going to make it through this storm. So I feel like that's quite appropriate, that what we are probably seeing in our intuition and what we're probably really being guided is that it is time to get through these anxieties and fears, the things that are kind of maybe stopping us or holding us back. So this card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That is what the Scorpio energy is all about. So whatever we've been through, there's a new start ahead, and it might be a little dark. It's most certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be a deep transforming for us. And so this card can also suggest that you are magical, then this is a time to work on your magic. It is also to herald in a start of a sexier time. So it's a sexier time, people. If you've been experiencing something of a drought and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is a sign that likes to go deep in the body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way. So we are definitely, it's not superficial. We know we have these anxieties, these fears, but it is time for us to really work our magic, right? Start stepping into that power, because if we know we are magic, which we do, and if you're listening to this, you've got these abilities that not necessarily are accepted as being normal, right? Even though they are normal, we all have different skill sets and different sensories, whether you're clairvoyant, clairaudience, it's psychic, more intuitive, whatever these innate abilities you have, right? So some of the additional meanings for this card that could apply to what your intuition's telling you: it's time to get off a grudge you're holding, move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive. It could also be that you're being paranoid, or make an investment, which I would really say that's like making an investment in yourself and in stepping up your energies, right? And Scorpio is a sign of death and rebirth, magic of the shamans. And the energy can be a little bit dark, which is what we're going through right now. So like feeling that fear seems quite appropriate. But not all of us like to face the shadow, but Scorpion demands it. It demands that we look at whatever we're fearful of, those shadows, that darkness, so we can get through it and get to the other side. So that is what we're first seeing. So straight up, our intuition is telling us that it is really time to acknowledge, work through those fears, and start finding our magic. Now, what we're not seeing. So what is the intuition kind of guiding us that we're not necessarily seeing? A fiery climax approaches. Full moon in Aries. We got like 2 back-to-back full moon cards. That's very interesting. So full moon in Aries. Where did I put that? Because I want to make sure I get the full reading here. The full moon in Aries. So this one, as you can see, we're obviously what we're not maybe understanding or seeing with our intuition is that there is a climax that is approaching. So it might seem really appropriate that we've got a little bit of fear, like my dream with the tornadoes, that there's a lot of anxieties, a lot of in the background chaos, and this is all going to come to a climax, and it's going to be an intense climax. It's going to be interesting. And I feel like that's really straight up what it's telling us. Like, we're going to come to a peak. We're getting close to the top of this mountain. And it's time to see if you've been a little too bit me. If there's a tug of war going on between what you want and what someone else wants. But you'll have to wait a little while to see what's going to happen next. As you wait, ask yourself if you've been handling the situation as sensitively as you could have done. And if you know deep down that you've been a little rash or harsh or gone too far or overstepped the mark, then accept that on some level. You've created this situation yourself, which means you can create your way out of it too. When this card comes up, a peak is coming and it could be fiery. So some of the other additional meanings is being assertive is good. Just don't ride roughshod over anyone. If you're in a tense situation, meditate your way to peace. Don't be a baby. That's also saying it. Sorry, but this could be an issue. Maybe you're a little crybaby. I can sometimes be that. So it's a good warning on that. And you need to have more fun. Because as we go through this climax, this approach of this going to the peak of what is happening, we're going to need to have some fun. We're going to be able to have to learn to laugh it off. So this is a super fiery time when emotions can run very high. On the upside, there's excitement about what's going to come ahead, but there might be tempers or angers or rash comments or decisions. So no matter when you pull this card, it signals that the situation has just or is about to come to a peak. So perhaps in a rather heated way. So there could be a price to pay if you've been too competitive or maybe too blunt. So it's kind of that notice that we are coming to a climax. I think that's really quite appropriate. And it might be really fiery, we might get angry as we learn some of the fears that we had start to break down. And then we start to become angry of the situations when we find the truth out, right? So that's where we're coming. So that's what we're seeing, that we need to really work through our fears with our intuition. And we are coming to a climax of these situations. Now, this is what our possible outcomes are. So what is the intuition guiding us as a possible outcome? Confidence is our key to success. A new moon, full moon, new moon. Interesting. So confidence is the key to our success, which is the new moon in Leo. So with this card, it talks about a start of a new cycle for us, which seems like, well, that's definitely where we're probably going. Because as we let go and work through these fears and we come to a climax of fiery, it's almost like the representation of fire is like burning the old, letting go of the old of what we had. So we can bring in this new way of being, the new way of ourselves. And we need to be confident that even as we go through this fiery climax, this fiery burning of the old and removing these fears or letting those fears go, we have to be confident, right? So when you're going to look and feel more gorgeous, more in the spotlight. That seems quite appropriate with the sexiness, and more sexiness here. You more like of something that's worth showing off. If you want someone's attention, the card says it's coming. However, this may not happen all by itself. You have to be willing to do some of it yourself. That means being proud of who you are and what you offer. Think of yourself as a king or queen of the jungle and carry yourself accordingly. This card is a great omen if you're asking about a creative project that you're working on. Alternatively, it heralds good news or a new start for your children. So if we have children too, they might be coming through this challenge as well and coming into we're coming into a new world. I feel like that's a part of that as well. It's just intuitively what I'm getting. So this is a sign of big, brave-hearted lion, of pride and showmanship and flirting. The energy around the new moon and in Leo and around this card is hot and generous. The energy loves itself, and so should you. If you've been too much of a wallflower, the new moon card is, telling you that you need to be proud of who you are. Don't try to blend in. Walk the walk. Be confident in who you are as a spiritual being here at this moment. And then our guidance of what we're being guided to do as from our intuitions. This is the guidance that our intuition really wants us to take as we come to the end of this reading. A new romantic cycle begins, a new moon in Libra. So we got new moon, full moon, new moon. Very, very interesting. So this one is a give and take, could well be the answer to whatever dilemma we're asking about. So whatever we might be struggling with the fear, it might be just this point where we have to get that give and take, find that balance, as the Libra is about balance, right? That's why we've got the scales with the sign of Libra. Compromise may be called for. It's time to start negotiating or even renegotiating. When the new moon in Libra comes up, it's a restart for you or someone else. A new relationship could be beginning, and that's the case. If that's the case, the chances that this will be a healthy and well-balanced connection, is what it's saying. This new connection you're making. If anything you do after pulling this card, doing it in pairs is advised. So finding somebody to work with, having the that partner, that teamwork, right? And such as teaming up with someone in business or in your personal life. And the Libra is a sign of relating, and this card suggests that whoever is at the heart of the issue you're addressing is someone who will be open to taking things through. So avoid being selfish, as it won't get you very far. So that's really where our guidance is. We have to move past being really about me. We need to be confident in who we are to assist us through this fiery climax as we work through our fears. But we need to really be balanced and open. And then we might need to reach out to someone and let them know that we care, that it can be part of it. Feel more, think less. Marriage or engagement is on the cards. A legal matter will go your way, and pay some attention to your appearance, but don't be all about appearance. So again, that confidence, but not, full of yourself kind of idea. So this is our love and harmony, negotiation and relationships. It is harmonious, kind, and luxurious, and always aiming for balance. So when we get this card, there is a possible restart for anything connected to partnerships, negotiations, appearances, and justice. So remember, Libra is depicted by the scales, as I mentioned, and the energy wants to bring things into equilibrium. So really what we're being guided is that it's definitely a time to get that balance. Find the balance, be confident about ourselves, but don't be egotistical, right? So the summary of our guidance of what the intuition is guiding us right now, our intuitions, all of us that are looking at this message, that are being these beautiful, spiritual, magical beings during this time of auspicious change, is that we are working through our fears. That is straight up what our intuition's telling us. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're being told. What we're not seeing is that in the background, there is a climax coming. And it's going to be fiery. It's going to be big, and it's going to be for the benefit of us, because some things are just going to have to dissipate as we let them go. And our outcome is that we're going to be confident. We need to be confident. That is the possible outcome, is that we need to definitely step into our confidence, into being these beautiful spiritual beings, letting go of our fears, letting them just burn up. Literally, I feel like that's really how that goes. And then be confident that we are going to go forward, creating this new realm. And what we're being mostly guided to do is find the balance in our life right now. Find that balance so we can work through our fears and those partnerships that are going to assist us, and those people that are there that are part of our star family, or just living this existence right now. Because we usually have soul contracts. So it might be somebody from our soul contract that we need to work with right now. So that is our message today of the guidance from our intuition. As always, I intend that this message will assist you as you go forward. And if you have not, please do subscribe to stay up to date with my daily messages. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Namaste.